Was Jesus kind of a stand-up comedian? I mean, think about it. A priest, a rabbi, and Jesus walked into a bar. Only Jesus recognized the setup for a joke. I never really thought about how Jesus was funny or not. I mean, we've heard the stories 1,000 times, and I usually smile at the funnier parts, but I never exactly said, Jesus is really funny. Then I found something that opened my eyes. I'll share that with you today as we talk about how funny, profoundly funny, Jesus was. We could use a few laughs right now.
Would it be okay if I were to tell you that I am afraid someday? So I call you up and you call me down. Would it be okay?
Well, hello and welcome to the FreedHearts podcast. My name is Robert Cottrell and I'm here as always with
Susan Cottrell.
We need a laugh track today, don't we? Because we're going to talk about Jesus, the stand-up comedian. He's got his HBO special coming out next month. Welcome, everybody. Connect with us at freedhearts.org. Check out all the free resources available for you. It's all right there. So, hey, a priest, a rabbi, and Jesus walked into a bar.
You know, only Jesus recognized the setup for a joke.
Okay.
I never really thought about Jesus being funny or not. Did you?
No, I mean,
we've heard the stories 1,000 times, right? And you usually smile at some of the funnier parts, right? But I never exactly said, man, Jesus is really funny. And then I found a little book by Elton Trueblood called The Humor of Christ, a significant but often unrecognized aspect of Christ's teachings.
That's a great title, by the way.
Isn't it?
Do you find that you found that at your seminary
book sale?
Yeah,
Yes. And I was really intrigued. I thought, well, that sounds fun. And man, he really makes the point of the humor in these familiar stories. And I thought, yeah, that stuff's hilarious. I mean, in the preface, okay, he mentions how this idea for the book came to him because he said he was reading to the family from Matthew chapter 7, as you do, when his oldest son, who was just 4, began to laugh. I mean, really belly laughed out loud. And he laughed because he saw how preposterous it was for a man to be so concerned about the speck in someone's eye, but is oblivious to a log in their own eye. That's funny.
That's funny, yeah.
I mean, it's funny. It's ludicrous. It's physically impossible, but, it's just funny. And the author writes, our son's laughter was a rebuke to us who'd failed to see the humor in an unexpected place.
That's great.
And he said he began to watch for humor in Jesus' life and teachings. And it usually took many readings for him to see the humor because we're so used to these stories and we're so conditioned to being so serious about it all.
Yeah. I mean, do you remember the movies, the classic movies that are Christmas and Easter time, either, Jesus of Nazareth or The Greatest Story Ever Told? Yeah. I mean, boring. I mean, Jesus is the most glum, humorless person ever. Why would anybody go, oh, man, I need to follow that guy?
Yeah, he looks like he's from the Village of the Damned. I mean, really. And so hyper serious and not at all appealing. And later on, one came out where Jesus was laughing and very human. And it was so kind of opening for people because it was so much better.
Yeah. And when we don't recognize his joyfulness, his playfulness, his humor, I think we really miss the point because
we do.
In like you said, in some of the recent movies, he laughs. He's humorous.
He's relatable.
He's human.
He's appealing. Yeah. And I think that's the reason why they made those old movies like that because they wanted him to be otherworldly and not human.
Oh, wow.
That just takes the whole punch out of it.
Wow. I mean, just imagine reading the stand-up routine of people like Taylor Tomlinson or Hannah Gadsby or John Mulaney or all those, not knowing that they were comedians. It would just seem slightly weird.
So weird.
You know what I mean?
So weird,
Like not hearing it in that context.
Yes.
It's like, well, what are they talking about?
It reminds me of a relative who, when she was 12 years old, made a joke, some kind of joke about something in the Bible, and her father said, don't make jokes about the Lord. Or don't make fun of the Lord, something like that. And that's appealing, isn't it? As if the Lord can't handle jokes, as if God is going to be put off by jokes. And she answered, the Lord knows I'm joking, which I kind of love because the dad represented everything austere in religion that makes, it takes things way too seriously.
Yeah.
And her youthful comment was fresh and joyful. And good heavens, if God is so serious that we can't make jokes, then we are lost. We are completely lost.
I mean, it feels like a bit like, well, wait till your father gets home kind of thing. Where we don't make jokes here. Almost like, don't take the Lord's name in vain. Well, that's been completely misunderstood.
Right.
We in this current environment, there's a whole movement taking the Lord's name in vain.
Right.
While
using it wrongly.
While using his name, or her name. Go for it. I mean, wait till your father hears about this. We don't, and we think, what kind of father is this? What kind of God is this?
Yeah. And how could people be so funny, but God isn't? God doesn't have a sense of humor. That makes no sense. That's appealing.
Yeah. Well, all right. Do you have some examples? I
have a few examples.
I'm ready to laugh.
Okay.
I need a joke. I always told jokes, but now today, it's not me. It's the Jesus joke. All right, go for it.
Well, here's the thing. First let me say that the Gospels were messed with, right? Built into something they didn't say, and words taken out and words added in to make it more religious.
Yeah, we've talked about that. So we're working with a corrupted file to begin with, right? Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
And just the fact that any of the humor and freshness survived kind of tells us that it was probably a lot funnier and fresher than what we read on the page, because those religious interpreters and transcribers would have tamped down as much as they could, right? So these won't make you laugh out loud. And, it's like a comedy album you've heard 25 times, but because we've heard these stories so much, but I hope they make you smile and picture it like you're sitting next to that 4-year-old boy, the author's son, or my 12-year-old relative with the buttoned up father. Would they be laughing? Yes, they'd be laughing. Let that give you permission to laugh too. Okay?
Clear your throat. Get ready to go. This is your big moment on the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, live from the
Jesus.
From the Improv Nazareth, Jesus.
That's very funny. Okay, excuse me, I had a moment there. Okay. So Jesus talks in Matthew about the religious leaders who elaborately clean the outside of their cup, because a clean cup is very important with ritual significance. But you fail to clean the inside of the cup that you actually drink from? That's funny.
That's funny.
You've heard it. I know you've heard these, but it's funny. And he talks about them straining a gnat, because gross, but then swallowing a camel. And, he could have said, and a pastor today, I've heard them say, you don't have your priorities straight, that's another way to say that. And it's neither compelling nor memorable.
Nor funny.
But Jesus instead says they strain a gnat but swallow a camel. The absurdity of it makes the point, and it also makes it memorable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And he was calling out the religious leaders who do this. No doubt about that. No doubt. And he said, you stand around praying, saying, I thank God I'm not like these other people, these cheaters, sinners, adulterers. I'm certainly not like that tax collector. I fast twice a week and I give you 1/10 of my income. What a hero he is.
I mean, seriously, it kind of makes you throw up a little bit in your mouth.
Yeah, because we've met people like this.
You've met people like this, and he's pushing, he's poking the bear,
right?
Of these religious leaders, and it's funny.
It's funny. And G.K. Chesterton wrote, if we understood the sting of Jesus' stories, we would not wonder why the Pharisees crucified him. We'd wonder why it took them 3 years to do it. Exactly.
Yeah.
And when we see, we see the contrast in the verse when the tax collector then says, he stood at a distance and dared not even lift his eyes to heaven as he prayed. Instead, he beat his chest in sorrow, saying, "Oh God, be merciful to me, for I am a sinner." You see how the Pharisee is sidling up to God saying, I know, I do a lot for you, you know? Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, you know, it's my pleasure. I know, I don't sin like those other schmucks. And I give you 10% of what I have. Yeah, I know. I mean, right? Yeah, you're welcome. I'm doing pretty well here. And the other guys, the least of these is saying, I'm in deep trouble without you. I'm gay and my family doesn't even want me around.
I think that's the Susan adjusted version, right?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Well, they're all interpretations, remember?
All of them.
This is my interpretation, right?
I read something recently about how the original King James had all kinds of additional books in it that the current King James does not. And so that's one thing to keep in mind. Every translation you read is an interpretation.
Yes. We'll talk about that actually later, another episode.
Good idea. Not funny, but a good idea.
I don't know. The whole thing's kind of funny if you back up far enough.
It's funny in a kind of not a ha-ha way, but oh God way.
Right. So, you know, I really love this, that this least of these person is saying, I've tried to be what you want or what they tell me you want, and I can't do it. Please have mercy on me. Do you recognize that kind of prayer? Is that your kind of prayer? Isn't that a beautiful kind of prayer? Do you think God doesn't hear that prayer? That's exactly the kind of prayer Jesus said was getting in right connection with God, is being in the same vibration as God, versus this is what's wrong with you and this is what's right with me, like, you know, the Pharisees. So,
and they're the ones who connected with God, not the Pharisees.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. And those who exalt themselves as being better than others will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. And that's right where he says that, actually. So this is how he created powerful visuals. He taught powerful messages through these strong, memorable, and humorous images. It reminds me of my friend's daughter, teenager, who said, Mom, Shakespeare is he's so cliched. And we're just laughing because it wasn't cliches when he wrote them. And this wasn't cliched or over familiar when Jesus said it. It was groundbreaking. Yeah. And again, G.K. Chesterton wrote, instead of looking at books and pictures about the New Testament, I looked at the New Testament, and there I found an account, not in the least of the person with his hair parted in the middle or his hands clasped in appeal, but of an extraordinary being with lips of thunder and acts of lurid decision, flinging down tables, casting out devils. The diction used about Christ has been sweet and submissive, but the diction used by Christ is quite gigantesque. It is full of camels leaping through needles and mountains hurled into the sea.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
That's incredible. Just astounding when you get your hands around it. And I've heard people say, you may have heard this too, well, there was a low gate at the time that they called a needle that the camel had to go through. But it still makes the point. Well, that may or may not be true. But to look at these stories and not think that Jesus is almost making fun of us, certainly making fun of the religious leaders, and maybe, you know, not making fun of the least of these at all, but enjoying, as you do children who are learning to walk and talk when they gently bump into things and they mix phrases around, and it's so sweet, and you love them all the more. Yeah,
and I mean, I know you say funny.
Yeah.
And the book that you read is called The Humor of Christ, but it reminds me of kind of like a witty, dry wit.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
A dry humor.
Yeah, kind of ironic and clever. You know, I mean, I think it's funny, especially for the first time, if we could hear it.
That's also your kind of humor too. You love that dry.
Yes. But I mean, even at whatever level, I think it's funny.
It is funny,
but it is a dry wit. You're right. And it's kind of like, okay, I heard this when people audition for stand-up, like Saturday Night Live, that they warn people, don't expect them to laugh. They're going to sit there stone-faced, you know, and they do. And then someone says at the end of it, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard. It's just kind of a different way to hold it. I hope you understood what I said there. But Jesus talks about the blind leading the blind, or blind guides. You'd think one requirement for guides is that they have to be able to see where they're going, where they're leading other people. Our friend who was blind, we had a couple who lived in our apartment before in Austin. Not our apartment, but our apartment building. And she said she was on the shuttle bus outside the building. It hadn't left yet. And the driver had gone inside for a moment. And our friend knew the driver and was sitting in the driver's seat just waiting for the driver to return. And someone got on and said, "Are you driving this bus?" And our blind friend said, "I sure am." And the woman turned around to leave and said, "Oh my gosh, they let anybody drive this bus." That's just, okay, that's funny.
Yeah.
So come on, people, we need our humor. We need our humor.
Don't ever take away our freedom. Don't ever take away our humor.
Exactly.
Sorry.
Exactly. That was good, Braveheart.
Was that good,
Braveheart? Yeah, I recognized it.
Don't ask me to do the accent twice because I don't know what that was. And if I do it again, it'll probably sound German or Italian or something else.
That's how
I roll with accents.
Yeah. Okay, so let me tell you another one.
I got to pop in and be funny here. I mean, Jesus is getting all the laughs.
All the laughs, yeah. We hope he is.
He's probably still getting all the laughs after that joke.
Okay, so there's another story in Mark 4. He's making the point that everything hidden will eventually be revealed. And he says, does anyone bring in a lamp and put it under a basket or under a bed? Doesn't he set it on a stand? And, if you put a candle, a light under a bed, it's going to catch fire. That's a pretty outlandish image. And then there's a last story. And this is the famous one of the Syrophoenician woman. You've probably heard of it, who heard Jesus. She heard about Jesus, and she came and fell at his feet, begging him to cast a demon from her daughter. And because she was a Gentile, Jesus said, "First I should feed the children, my own family, the Jews. It isn't right to take food from the children and throw it to the dogs." She said, "Yes, Lord, but even the little dogs get scraps from the children's plates." He said, "Good answer. Now go home. The demon has left your daughter." Now that's a cattywampus of a story.
Great word.
And I've heard it interpreted as, well, he was off base and this woman corrected him and pointed it out. And that's conceivable, but I just don't buy that. Like, he had a little brain aneurysm, and I don't even know what I'm talking about with that term, but he just, a senior moment or whatever. And she...
At 32.
Right, at 30. Right. And she, with her clever reply, snapped him out of it. I don't buy that. He'd healed Gentiles before. So, that was not really an issue. And he's a little hard to surprise. And for him to say that, to say what he said seriously would have been rude and contemptuous. It really was, which he never was, except to religious leaders who asked for it. If he'd been serious, then her answer is really high risk and impertinent, right? I realize her daughter was at stake, but imagine saying to a religious leader, talking back or whatever, to a religious leader today who's based on rules, no. I think he was being playful, sort of having a little banter with her. Mm-hmm. And again, we're getting truncated versions here. So there was probably more in it than we are reading.
Yeah.
But I think he was being playful and bantering with her to see what she was made of, to have fun with her. And they both had fun. And she responded in a very cute and humorous way that fit the situation. And he healed her daughter. Okay? Mm. So I think of Jesus coming to earth on a mission.
And you can define that mission however you want.
Yes.
There, yeah.
And I think we all come here with a sole purpose, a sole contract when we come here. But however you define this, he was bigger, wiser, more in touch, all the things than the people he was talking to. That's clear.
Yeah. at times he had to have it like up to here with all the stupid stuff or even angering stuff, the harm that he was seeing being caused, you know?
Yeah. Do you remember that verse where he said, "You faithless and corrupt people, how long do I have to put up with you?" It's like that meme. You found a meme, and it's a picture of a heavy old book, very serious. And on the book in this serious font, it says, "How to make sure you never get reincarnated on planet Earth ever again. Please, I cannot do this again. OMFG."
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Jesus really was looking to come back in that form again. And it was a big ask for him to come here in the first place. Yeah.
I mean, he was probably sitting with God beforehand saying, are you sure I have to go? Because Earth is a tough gig, you know, it's a tough gig.
Exactly.
But you know what? I think his humor is how he disarmed people. Sometimes they didn't quite know how to react.
Sane.
how to react to that.
Yeah.
It was using this kind of simple, often funny languages and comparisons to make deep, profound points.
Yes.
And like you said, it's probably what he used just so he could handle all of this, so he could remain sane.
Yeah. And you think of comedians that make very funny points that really, really point out society as it is. They make points that they couldn't have made not being funny. And I think he's doing the same thing. And there are many, many examples.
Yeah.
We just gave you a few, but don't take it all so seriously.
Yeah. Find the humor, and I think in the midst of that, you'll actually even more deeply receive the points and what he's trying to make. So,
and have a lot more fun and a lot more peace.
So look for Jesus on tour at the stand-up comedy club near you. On Ticketmaster, just search Jesus the Comedian.
Yes.
Oh, who knows what you'll find if you search that. So I would not recommend that. We
Probably
love you.
Jesus the Comedian is who you'll find.
We love you. We'll talk to you next week.
We love you. Thank you.
Next week, we talk about lemons and blackberries.
Oh, yummy.
Bye.
Bye.
Would it be okay if I were to tell you that I am afraid someday? So I call you up and you call me down. Would it be okay?
You've been listening to the FreedHearts podcast. We have extensive resources and vibrant, inclusive community for you at freedhearts.org. Please come say hello. If you have questions, comments, or suggestions for the podcast, just email us at podcast@freedhearts.org. Audio engineering is by Luke Johnson. The music is provided by our child, the Grammy-nominated Saint Sinner. You can find out more about him and his music at saintsinnermusic.com. Please share, subscribe, and follow on your favorite platform and support if you can. And thanks for listening.